In an age where cars were seen as a thing of luxury and only the rich could afford it, one man had a dream of revolutionizing the automobile world. He envisioned a society where the average income earning household could enjoy the comfort of owning a car and not break the bank. With this dream, he set out to do whatever it took for his dream to become a reality, and the rest is history. Where it all began. Henry Ford was born in Dearborn, Michigan in the year 1863 into the family of Mr. and Mrs. William Ford. His family owned a farm business in which Henry Ford grew up in. He was fond of playing with the machines and loved assembling parts and parts. Growing up, he had a great love for machines and how they work, and hoped that someday he was going to harness his skills to create a positive impact in the lives of people. In 1876, his mother, Mary Ford, passed away, and his father, William Ford, wanted him to take over the family's farm business, but Henry had no interest in getting involved in the family's farm business. In 1879, Henry Ford left home to develop his skills in machines. He started working as an apprentice machinist with Edison Illuminating Company in Detroit and later moved on to repairing steam engines for a year in southern Michigan. Due to his outstanding talent in the world of engineering, Henry Ford was hired as an engineer at the Edison Illuminating Company of Detroit, in which he displayed remarkable expertise. He was honored with the promotion of becoming the chief engineer just after 2 years of being hired. While working as a chief engineer, Henry Ford became fascinated with gasoline-powered vehicles, and so he began devoting his spare time to building what he called the quadricycle, a crude contraption that consisted of 2 bicycles placed side by side, powered by a gasoline engine. After working on the quadricycle for nearly a decade, it was finally time for him to bring his incredible invention to the masses. His invention was admired by a group of investors who were willing to offer him the financial backing that he needed to bring his inventions to the masses, of which William H. Murphy, a Detroit businessman, was the sole partaker. On August 1899, the Detroit Automobile Company was created, with Ford as the superintendent in charge of production. The company's first product was a gasoline-powered delivery truck, engineered by Ford and completed in January 1900. It was well received by the masses, but it had several flaws. It was heavy, slow, unreliable, and complicated to manufacture, and unfortunately, the company had to be shut down. Later in his life, Henry Ford recalled this period as one that was driven by profit rather than innovation. He realized that in order to thrive in any venture, he had to set his priorities straight. Having learned his lessons, he set out to begin something new. He persuaded Murphy to give him a second chance by investing in his new venture, which he called the Henry Ford Company, to which Murphy complied. Again, the company floundered due to the pressure mounted on Henry Ford from his investors who had set unrealistic expectations from the onset. As a result, Murphy brought in an outside manager to supervise Ford's process. Henry Ford, having felt that his ideas weren't prioritized, left the company. Having had 2 failures in a row, he was still determined to keep trying. Several years later, he met Alexander Malcolmson, a coal magnate with a risk-taking spirit like Ford, who agreed to invest in his new venture, which he called Ford Motor Company. It was established in 1901, and Ford had high hopes for the success of his new venture. Malcolmson gave Ford full control over his production, and the company introduced the Model A in 1904. By the end of the year, 500 cars were sold. The price of a car was $850. The next model car was launched called Model N, which was well received, with 7,000 sold in just 1 year. The Model N was retailed at $600. However, Henry Ford didn't have the satisfaction he imagined due to the fact that other automobile companies poured their resources into making their cars more luxurious. He also wanted to build something that could be seen as luxurious but affordable. He set out to create a new model of cars which will combine simplicity with luxury. Hence, in 1908, he launched the Model T at the price of $850. The car was a massive success. About 6,400 Model Ts were sold within a few months, and it sold out to the point that its supply couldn't keep up with the demand. This made Henry Ford to set up a system that will enable him to meet the demand of the Model Ts. He set up a production plant on a 60-acre land in Highland Park, Michigan, which enabled the Ford Motor Company to roll out Model Ts in less than 12 hours. Ford worked so hard to perfect the system, and this led to his company being able to produce a new car within 93 minutes. The reduction in production time made Ford reduce the price of his car to make it more affordable and to enable him to realize his lifelong dream of building a car that the average person could afford. The Model T was the hottest car in the 20th century, and 16.5 million cars were sold between 1908 and 1927. This was a big breakthrough in the life of Henry Ford, who had experienced many failures in his life. Over the years, the Ford Company has evolved into an epitome of excellence. It has greatly made a huge impact in the lives of several generations through the provision of affordable means of transportation. It also helps to uplift humanity through its charitable organization, which is the Ford Foundation, which was created by Edsel Ford and his father Henry Ford in 1936. Its core mission is to reduce poverty and injustice, strengthen democratic values, promote international cooperation, and advance human achievements. It also supports visionary leaders and organizations on the front lines of social change worldwide. Truly, Henry Ford's life is a true definition of the power of patience and perseverance. His legacy continues to be an inspiration to generations of people. Despite all the setbacks he encountered, he didn't let it discourage him from accomplishing his dreams. Rather, he turned them into a comeback. So, no matter what you are currently facing, don't let it stop you from achieving your dreams. The world needs more people who are bold enough to dream big and to do whatever it takes to accomplish their goals.